Sadhu, sadhu, namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May our homage to my teacher Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let's begin today's Dhamma discussion. Thank you so much for joining to this Mindfulness in Buddha's Way session. Today we are going to study about the Satipatthana Sutta. I will be sharing with you the third meditation in that sutta. So we already learned about two meditations. Now, do you remember the two meditations, friends? What was the first meditation we started with?
Breathing meditation?
Yes, we studied breathing meditations. And next, what was the second meditation we studied?
Postures?
Yes, posture meditation. Okay. Now let's see the third meditation. Yeah, we studied about the posture meditation and also we talked about the breathing meditation. And in the third meditation, we have uh, a certain meditation which still talks about the postures. It is sometimes it is called detailed posture meditation, which means it is still a meditation that we do off the cushion. And we don't do a breathing meditation at that time. Whenever we don't do breathing, we can do that meditation. It is called full awareness meditation. Okay, friends, I will share with you the study materials. Let me share with you this slideshow. First, before we study that meditation, we need to clear about certain concept in the Buddha's teachings called wisdom. So if I were to ask you, friends, how do you define wisdom? What exactly is wisdom? How did you learn about that before? Are you familiar with that? Wisdom?
Seeing things as they truly are.
Okay,
Yeah.
seeing things as they
Really are.
Yeah, truly are. Okay. What else? Do you have any other definitions to the wisdom?
Is it about Four Noble Truths?
Yeah, it can also be about Four Noble Truths. Yeah, that's also correct. Tina's answer is also correct. What are the other teachings that you heard about the wisdom? Is there any other function of the wisdom? I mean, in Buddha's teachings, if you have learned, because during our meditations, we are going to get that wisdom. That is why we meditate. Okay.
Maybe we know what is wholesome and what is unwholesome, Bhante.
Yeah, yeah. With the initial step, like when we enter into the path, there is some level of wisdom which governs our practice. Even in our day-to-day lives, we possess this wisdom. That is the power to recognize what is skillful and what is unskillful. It is said that when a person get the wisdom, they know how to live their life, which brings them a peace of mind, which brings them um, clarity, and which brings them um, so much happiness into their mind, because that they know how to handle their life, what sort of things to be escaped, what sort of things to avoid, and what should be cultivated. So one knows whenever they have the wisdom. Okay, friends. Now, in a certain sutta, Buddha say, if one were to have so much wealth, so much possessions, and many things that around them, around a person, if that person doesn't have the wisdom, Buddha say he is not living a life. He doesn't have a good life. And again, in another teaching, Buddha say, if one were to lost all the possessions, all the wealth, all the material gains at some point in their life, if they lost everything, if they still have the wisdom, they Buddha say they still live, they still have everything, even though that all the possessions uh, change in their lives, separate from them. Buddha say this wisdom is the power which protect us, that help us to let go all the pain in life. Buddha say if a person were to live without any wealth, without any possession, without many things, without much recognition, but if they still have the wisdom, Buddha say they are living, they have everything, because they know how to eradicate, how to let go unskillful things, and how to live life in order to bring so much joy and happiness into the heart. So this idea of wisdom it is a quality that we should gain, we should develop in us, so that we can use this power to let go all the unskillful things. Now, during the meditation, we get to know, we cultivate, we develop that faculty, we develop that power in us, which eradicate all the bad, unskillful things. But when we starting, we get this wisdom, and we start to recognize what is wholesome, what is unwholesome, what is skillful, what is unskillful, and that is what drives us through the practice in order to attain the last goal, and that is the breakthrough into the Four Noble Truths. The answers that my friends gave right now, they all are valid, but they are in different levels. Now, one of my friends said it is the understanding of the Four Noble Truths, and that is the final goal of the wisdom. And when a person has the power to distinguish what is good and bad, skillful, unskillful, that is the initial step of starting and entering to the path. Okay, friends. Now, I'm going to share with you a certain teaching, a special teaching, which talks about this concept about the wisdom. And actually, this is an extract from a discussion that was among a enlightened Bhante and a certain king. Now, the king asked, "What is the characteristic mark of wisdom?" Actually, here the characteristic mark means he's literally asking how we should understand wisdom, because now these things are not tangible. Perhaps we cannot touch them and we cannot find them physically, but they are in our own mind and in our life. Now he's asking what are the ways that you can understand about this wisdom, characteristic mark of wisdom. And then the Nagasena is the Bhante, enlightened Bhante, and he say, I have already told you before. If a person has wisdom, he can cut off all the doubts and can distinguish what is meritorious. This is wisdom. Now then that Bhante say, when a person possesses wisdom, he can cut off all the doubts. He or she can cut off all the doubts. Here the enlightened Bhante is speaking about the doubts that we have about our existence. And I remember in a certain in a past session we talked about there are many questions and perplexities in our lives which brought us so many questions about our existence, where we were before and where are we heading to, what who am I right now and what I am doing. These are the so many different ways of questioning about our life. Actually, according to the Buddha's perspective, all of these questions arises because of the doubt that we have about our life. If we were to have the awakening, here it is an understood concept. Awakening means the breakthrough into the Four Noble Truths. If one get such a knowledge, wisdom into the Four Noble Truths, they cut off all the doubts. Again, the nature of the existence according to the Buddha's teachings is the impermanence. So there is impermanence in our life. Now this Bhante say, if you gain that wisdom, that quality, that you can cut off all the doubts about your life. Because wisdom teaches you nothing but the impermanent nature of the life. And he say, next he say, and can distinguish what is meritorious. And he say there is another quality in that. It is distinguishing what is meritorious. Here's a meritorious means another word for the good things, such as skillful things. Again, we say good thing, skillful thing, or wholesome thing. They all sided with this meritorious word, meritorious. Because they all have similar meanings in Buddhism. Now he say one can distinguish that, which means Buddha say we gotta avoid something which is harmful, and we should cultivate which is beneficial, meritorious. For an example, let's say abstain killing living beings. That's a unskillful thing. That is a demeritorious thing. But protecting living beings is a meritorious thing, a good thing. Now, the power that help us to distinguish these two, the mental quality, is called the wisdom. Actually, that is where we enter. The virtue is the place that we enter to the training. So the virtue will be governed by this wisdom, by this knowledge, because we know this is something to be abandoned, this is something to cultivate. Now the Bhante say, Nagasena Bhante gave us simile. Now he gave a simile. It is like a person entering a dark room with light in hand. As soon as the light enters the room, the darkness disappears. So a person is endowed with wisdom is like a bright light. Suppose there is a room filled with darkness. We don't know what is inside the room. Where is the table? Where is the chair? Where is the picture? Where is the bed? So when we enter, so we don't see anything. We don't know what is going on inside. But as soon as when a person light up a candle or take it with his hand and enter to the room, whatever the direction this light is holding, every directions will be light up and get to know what is inside. And there is no any darkness there. So no need to be frightened. No need to doubt. We don't need to doubt about the room. Where will I gonna hit? Where will I gonna bump? So it will be more and more clear when a person holds a light. Now this Bhante say, darkness disappeared because of the lights entering to the room. So a person endowed with wisdom is like a bright light. Now we are developing wisdom to awaken ourselves through this light. The light is the wisdom. It is the Four Noble Truths and also the ability to distinguish good and bad, and also the understanding about the impermanence. Those are inside this wisdom. Those are the higher knowledge that we are searching for. Now the meditation, Satipatthana Sutta, meditations are focused to the final goal with the wisdom. Okay? The person who is endowed with wisdom can cut off all evils. Now, enlightened Bhante say, when they endowed with wisdom, they can cut off all the evils. Just like a person who cuts down the trees with a sharp knife. And some of the suttas and some of the verses from the enlightened Bhantes, they equals this wisdom to a sword. Here it says a sharp knife. It can also be a sword. And the sword is something that we use to cut. And the things that we cut is the plants, the weeds, the unwanted plants. When it is sprouting in the heart, they use the sword of the wisdom to cut off. And that way they avoid all the evils, because all the evils are starting from the heart, from the mind. When they possess this power of the wisdom, they cut off all these evil things. And then they won't speak any evil thing and they won't do any evil action. And that way they can also live with a mindful living. So their mindfulness will be very established. So that is why this Bhante say now wisdom is the like a sharp knife. Okay, friends. Now the Bhante again say, furthermore, for worldlings, wisdom is of prime importance. Worldling means those who are not awakened, such as ourselves. Now for us, as we are practitioners, it is very important to possess the wisdom. Because when a person gets the wisdom, they know how to live their life. They know how to handle their life to a better goal and to a better uh, future that doesn't give them any regret, any sadness, any problems into their heart. You know, there are times when people get more and more wealth. Normally, people get so much intoxicated with that. And then, because of not knowing how to handle these things, how not knowing that wealth is impermanent, because of lack of that wisdom, that they waste all their money and all their wealth at some point and live in their last moments with so much sorrow and misery, is because that they had all the possessions but couldn't get this wisdom. Now the Buddha teach us to find the wisdom through our life. Actually, Buddha doesn't give a system of instructions that this is wisdom, but he is inviting us to find it within us. And these all the teachings are supporting us to find that wisdom inside and to awaken to the Four Noble Truths. Now, this Bhante says, a person endowed with wisdom is able to transcend the suffering of samsara. And then the king said, excellent, Nagasena. Excellent, Bhante. So, friends, let's go to the next meditation. Now, this is the four postures meditation that we already discussed. So, we had a good understanding about this. I hope we had a good understanding about this meditation so far. For quick reminding, let's go fast through these lines. This is how the posture meditation is being taught by the Buddha. He say, again, a bhikkhu means the practitioner. When walking, a bhikkhu understands I'm walking. When standing, he understands I'm standing. When sitting, he understands I'm sitting. When laying down, he understands I'm laying down. Or he or she understands accordingly, however his body is disposed. And that was the practice. This was the practice of posture meditation, which means we are trying to focus our awareness all the way through our postures, whatever the movement that we are having. We try to grasp all these postures through our mind in order to develop mindfulness. Now, the object of the meditation in that moment is our ways of our postures. Whatever the way that we handle the body, we get our mindfulness over it. We try to keep focusing our attention in order to develop our peace of mind. And according to the teachings, when we keep doing this gradually, it has the power to increase our mindfulness. Normally, we don't need to have a deliberate control over our postures so that we get the mindfulness over the postures. But as it happens naturally, we bring our focus to these movements of the body. And we don't stop any posture, we don't stop any movement so that we can focus to that posture, a specific posture in that particular moment. But what we are doing is we let it happen naturally, but we are keep bringing our attention again and again in order to keep on track with the postures. And this depends with the practitioner. The practitioner should understand how they should keep focusing to the posture so that they can uh, develop their mindfulness. But still Buddha give the instructions. So this is how you observe. When one is walking, they know that I'm walking right now. When standing, know that I'm standing, understands I'm standing. When sitting, he understands I'm sitting. When laying down, he understands I'm laying down. Those are the 4 basic postures. Okay, friends, those are the 4 basic postures. But in between these 4, there are some transitioning postures. Let's suppose that I'm sitting, and when I'm standing, before that I reach to the standing position, I have this transitioning movement of that 2 postures. And according to this meditation instructions, we must see that transition also during this practice. We should do our best to catch that transitioning also. And that is why it says he understands accordingly however his body is disposed. Now let's suppose, friends, if a person was to succeeded in this, let's say that person is successfully established his mindfulness towards the movements of the body. So the mind doesn't wander externally, but it always remained with all the movements of the body. But still, it is just a meditation object. But it is now this meditation compared to the next one that we are going to study has a slight difference. In the second meditation, we develop our wisdom. But in this meditation, we merely observe our postures in order to build certain level of peace of mind, because it is very difficult to enter to the observing of the postures. And when it gradually develops, it invites us to awaken our wisdom. And that doesn't mean that with this meditation we cannot practice our vipassana, practice our insight meditation, but there is another part to this meditation on postures which Buddha teach about the vipassana meditation. But let's go to the next meditation instructions. We will get to know more about this meditation with that discussion also, because these two are combined, these two are very similar, very close. And this meditation, the third meditation, is called full awareness meditation. It is called Sampajañña. Okay, friends? Sampajañña. Normally, depending on the translation, there are many identical translations to the same word, the Sampajañña in Pali. Normally, this Sampajañña is translated by Bhantes as a full awareness meditation, and again as situational awareness meditation. And again, I found another called clear comprehension. So these all are the translation to the single word Sampajañña, because there is no a direct translation to these Pali terms, which is hidden from the past for many years. So now the Sampajañña, we will study this meditation. Full awareness meditation cultivates insight into your bodily posture and movements. And full awareness in Buddhism, often called situational awareness. I think that makes really sense. Situational awareness, which means you are developing a certain awareness in a specific situation, which means in a special in each and every situation you know what to do. In Buddhism, often called situational awareness or sampajañña in Pali, means being completely conscious and attentive to what you are doing, thinking, feeling, or experiencing in every moment with wisdom. Now, my friends, let's suppose now you are doing the breathing meditation. During the breathing meditation, normally when we focus our attention to the breath, now we keep focusing our attention continuously to the breathing process. And in that time, let's say an unskillful thought is entering to your meditation. Let's say hindrances are blocking you. Now the mental quality which lets yourself know what is entering your mind and blocking your way to the peace of mind. That mental quality is known as the wisdom, because that is what distinguishing what is your meditation and what is not your meditation. Okay, friends? Now, that wisdom is also, we can call it Sampajañña, because Sampajañña develops the wisdom. Full awareness develops the wisdom. Now, that is the same quality that we are cultivating and developing and increasing during the posture meditation, which means we don't abandon that quality of wisdom while we are doing our posture meditation. We try to carry it with us wherever we go, because that is very powerful and a governing factor in case of suffering. In order to eliminate the suffering, we need this quality to govern us. Now, this is how the in Pali the meditation lines goes. Punata param bhikkhave bhikkhu abhikkante patikkante sampajanakari hoti. Oh, sorry. Now, English translation of that. Again, bhikkhus. A bhikkhu is one who acts in full awareness when going forward and returning. Now, he exercises this full awareness when that person moves forward and returning. Actually, what he is doing is that he is having a very alert and very uh, uh, full aware, like very with a very powerful awareness. Yes, these recordings will be available, my friend. It was a question asked by a friend. These will be available in the future. Now, that full awareness when we going forward and returning, that we exercise our full awareness in order for not to enter any hindrance to the meditation. While we walking, we develop a full alertness to that process of walking in order for not to enter any hindrance, which means we don't need any hindrance to enter to that meditation while we are walking. That is how we develop full awareness. Let's suppose you gotta go to a specific place. Let's say from your house you are going to the garden to under a tree. So now you start your walking and you reach to that tree. Now while you're doing this, you don't abandon your wisdom. You don't abandon your discernment. That's a very good word, discernment. You are discerning about your mind, that not to enter any unskillful mental state, unskillful mental thought. Um, Simply put, any hindrance. We try our best to avoid hindrances when we walk. And when we come back, we let ourselves not to enter any hindrances when we returning. We keep very closer watch over our mind. That is full awareness. Again, Buddha say, Alokite vilokite sampajanakari hoti. Who acts in full awareness when looking ahead and looking away. Let's say that person while sitting or while walking, perhaps that person might want to see here and there. In that, even that moment, this practitioner does not let his mind to enter to any hindrance. He does not let his mind to mix with any hindrance, distract with any hindrance. Even while looking ahead, looking away, while turning the head, while turning the body, that practitioner put all the power to see, am I having a unskillful thought in this moment? Am I having a hindrance in this moment? Do I have anger in this moment? Do I have sense desire in this moment? Actually, somebody might think, okay, now is that enough? Is that enough to recognize? Yes, when you recognize the hindrance, you have done 99% of the practice to abandon the hindrance. Because when we were to develop the mindfulness to certain amount, we see that hindrance as a distraction, and knowing that and recognizing that itself has a very powerful impact over that hindrance, so that it gradually loses its power. Now, because of that, one need to keep watching their mind and try to recognize through the wisdom uh, while they look ahead and look away, turn their head. They Buddha say they should be full aware to that activity. Samminjite pasarite sampajanakari hoti. Who acts in full awareness when flexing and extending his limbs. When we are doing our meditation, perhaps let's say that while we are having our food, or when we are going to grab a cup or something kind of a object, there is a way that we flex our arms and extend our arms. There is a way that we extend our legs. So here that Buddha say one should be full aware even while they stretch their legs and they fold their legs. They keep their full awareness. By doing this, may I get anger? By doing this, may I get sense desire? By doing this, may I get sleepiness? May I get restlessness? May I get doubt by doing this? So they get this full awareness into their movements of their limbs, their arms and legs. संघाटिपत चीवर धारणी संपजानकारी होती. Who acts in full awareness when wearing his robes and carrying his outer robe and bow. Normally, this was uh, taught to the Bhantes, monks that lived with the Buddha together with the Buddha. So he's talking about the monk's perspective as a practitioner. Buddha say, when you wear your robe, when you carry your outer robe, which means the extra robe, and when you carry your alms bowl to the village, you should have this full awareness, which means literally this means wearing, dressing up. Let's say we are dressing our clothes. Now he say you should be full aware in that particular moment. May I get any bad, unskillful, and unbeneficial, unwholesome hindrance enter to my mind. So they are keeping a very close watch over their mind, even that in that activity. Asite pite kaite saiti sampajanakari hoti uchara passava kamme sampajanakari hoti. Buddha say, who acts in full awareness when eating, when drinking, consuming food, and tasting, who acts in full awareness even when defecating and urinating. So, whatever the practitioner does, they keep observing their activities with full awareness in order to check their mind. May I get a anger? May I get a greediness, sense desire? So that they try to recognize whatever the hindrance is attacking. When we exercise this type of a meditation, when we practice this meditation, even out the cushion, this is when we protect our peace of mind that we once gained with our sitting meditation, with our breathing meditation. Now, normally, let's suppose that after completing all the tasks and activities like eating, drinking, tasting, and all the things, they come back to their meditation cushion to continue the meditation. They will see more and more crystallized, powerful mental quality of recognizing hindrances during the breathing meditation, which means they have developed a little bit more while they were out the cushion. So they were guarded, the practitioner was guarded by this full awareness while that person is going. This is why it is said a sword. This full awareness, sampajañña, and the faculty of wisdom is like a sword. The sword can cut off all the enemies. That way, whatever entering during the day-to-day time, day-to-day life, we keep developing this wisdom, this quality, so that we can keep a closer watch about our mind. Whenever it enters, we cut off. And actually, this is very beautiful and very beneficial practice. Gate tite nisinne sutte jagrate bahasite tunni bhave sampajanakari hoti. He said, who acts in full awareness when walking, standing, sitting, falling asleep, waking up, taking and keeping silent. See, my friends, there is no any opportunity to abandon that meditation, that power of discernment. There is no any opportunity to abandon that full awareness. Buddha say when walking, when standing, sitting, even before, before go into a deep sleep, there is this moment that perhaps we might be unconscious, like trance-like um, moment that we enter into the sleep. Buddha say even that moment you gotta exercise this full awareness. Waking up, talking, And keeping silent should keep watching. Will I get any anger? Will I get any sense desire? Will there be some hindrance attacking me in this moment? Okay, friends, that is this meditation, but we will study about this meditation during our future sessions, because we slightly touched upon these instructions by the Buddha, but there are many other teachings uh, resonate with this concept. So we will study about that furthermore in the future. So in this moment, please remember about the full awareness as the power of wisdom, which avoids entering the unskillful hindrances. And we got to do that in all our activities. Okay, friends? Thank you so much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Bhante, thank you very much for that beautiful teaching. It answered a lot of questions to me, because usually when I'm trying to fall asleep, I'm trying to think, what should I do? And now I think I have an answer. But I didn't know that it extends to everything you do, basically. So when you're waking up, when you're falling asleep, so it's a great help to know that you can actually do that meditation anytime.